day, viewers. My name is Oluwasesan Isaac. You are welcome to Home Builders TV. My guest today is
Beatrice Adewale Adewoye.
You are welcome, ma.
Thank you, sir.
My guest is a doctor from University of Ibadan, Agricultural Extension and Rural Development. Once again, you are welcome, ma.
Thank you, sir.
Just as I've said the other time, we'll be considering parents' responsibilities towards the education of their children. Ma, who is the parent?
Thank you, sir. A parent is either a mother and a father through whom biological children descended.
Meaning that we look at parent like in the light of someone or group of people who have given birth to biological children.
Yes.
Meaning that giving birth is also a responsibility. So, what is responsibility?
Thank you, sir. Responsibility, it means obligation. What you are expected to do. That's what we mean by
Responsibility is an obligation, an expectation
Yes.
from some people or a group of people. If responsibility is obligation, permit me not to use that word responsibility again and to replace it with your own diction, obligation. Now, what are some obligations of parents
their children.
to their children? Yes.
Okay. Children have obligations to their, parents have obligations to their children. One, they should provide for the basic needs of their children. And these basic needs are food. They have to provide food for them. They have to provide shelter, clothing, and even medical care for their children. And apart from that, they have responsibility towards the education of their children.
Thank you. I'm trying to get something. Responsibility, things they are meant to provide. Does that mean that if I can't provide all these amenities or things for my children or for a child, meaning I'm not yet or I'm not worthy to be called a parent?
Parents, in fact, as long as you become a parent, you know that there are responsibilities you have to perform upon your children. That is basic. And an attempt to shy away from those responsibility obligation makes one irresponsible.
An attempt to shy away from such responsibility makes one irresponsible. Now, the main focus is on education. If we look at the scenarios or look at what is happening in Nigeria today, we observe that education is nowhere to be found. So how important is education to the growth and development of society or Nigeria as a whole?
Thank you. Before I answer that question, let me define what education is.
Right.
Education is the process or art of imparting knowledge and giving information and judgment. You pass skills, and knowledge on individual. And also, when you look at education, education is very, very important. Education is the foundation upon which the development and the progress of any society lies. Also, when you look at education, education is also the base upon which the whole building of human development stands.
That's right.
So, looking at the importance of education now, number one, education imparts knowledge. It gives information, it makes people to have information about their surroundings, about life generally. Then also, education makes an individual to better communicate and express their views efficiently in the society. Also, education imparts skills for a job. And when you have a good job, you probably have money and you will be able to live a quality life. Education also, even it helps one to better understand technology. You know, we are in the world of technology.
Right.
Technology, and even to be innovative and creative. When you look at education also, it makes people to be aware of what is going on in their surroundings. It also helps them to know about life. So in essence, education adds quality to individuals' lives.
Thank you. I picked something from what you said. You said education had innovative and creativity, meaning that if a child does not want to go to school and decide probably to go into carpentry, there will be that gap. There will be gap between a carpenter who didn't go to school,
Yes.
and a carpenter who went to school, because creativity will be the action point there. There will be a large gulf between the person that didn't go to school and the one who went to school. That's good. Now, what are the responsibilities of parents towards the education of their children?
Thank you. Parents have a lot of responsibilities concerning the education of their children. Let me mention some. Number one, parents should ensure that their children get quality education. And what is quality education? Quality education is that type of education that makes one to be useful to himself and also to contribute meaningfully to the development of the society. So in essence, parents should send their children to good school where they will get quality education that will make them to function very well in their community, so that they too they will be self-dependent and they will be able to contribute meaningfully to the development of the society. Then number two, parents will pay the school fees of their children promptly. That is very important because if you delay payment of your children's school fees, it can affect them adversely. One, you know that proprietor or proprietress, they will just chase those children didn't pay their school fees. Even if they don't send them home, they can put them in one class where others will be learning. So it will affect their children. So it is better for parents to have a way, maybe through cooperative or whatever, so that they pay the children's school fees promptly. Then number three, parents should provide good environment in the home. May I tell you that the home is the first educational institute.
That's true.
So the home must be peaceful. Where parents fight each other will not help learning of the children. Where children they are not in good rapport among themselves, there will be chaos in the house, and that cannot help learning. Also, another thing is that parents should also support their children. In which way? They should support them. They should make sure that they get to school on time. Then number two, they should make sure that they go to school regularly. Then number three, they should be well fed so that they will be ready to learn.
Thank you, ma. I picked something again, and I want to ask: is quality education, or is a good school an expensive school? Do you understand what I should explain? Is good school an expensive school? When we talk about good school, must I take my child to an expensive school under the auspices of going to a good school?
Let me tell you one thing. Quality education, like I've said, helps individual to be useful to himself and then to the society. Good school, good education, quality education doesn't mean that the school should be expensive before a child can get quality education. And that is very important. Among the responsibilities of the parents to the education of their children is that they should monitor their progress in the school. When you monitor your child's performance in the school, you will know whether they are imparting quality education to that child or not. And by the way the child even interacts in the home, when they learn something in the school, they want to practicalize it at home. For example, my child, some years ago, he was taught in the school that a mother after the age of 40 cannot bear children again. So when he got home, he said, "Mommy, we were taught that a mother after 40 years cannot bear children." I said, "Yes." He said, "Okay, mommy, how old are you?" I said, "Are you expecting me to give birth?" So by that, we know that after all, they are imparting knowledge. So being a school being expensive or whatever doesn't mean that the school can provide quality education.
Thank
So
you.
You have to monitor the child.
Thank you. You mentioned monitoring of child's performance or progress in school. Now, a child's moral well-being, whose responsibility? Is it the parent or the teacher? Now, by God's grace, I'm a teacher, and I had some cases whereby some parents have seen the teachers as the alpha and omega of a child, that whatever thing that happens to a child, they don't want to know if the child has brought such attitude from home. They want to know that we have kept the child in your care, it must be good. Whether we are doing our part or not is your responsibility. So a child's moral well-being, whose responsibility? The teacher or the parent?
Thank you. Like I've said earlier, that the home is the first educational institute. So the parents, they are responsible for the moral well-being of their children. Teachers, they are just helpers. Right from home, you have to teach morals to your children, and you have to live by example. You have to be model to them. In fact, in that area, honesty, you have to be honest. Hard work, you too should be hardworking. So through that, the parents shoulder the responsibility. Teachers are just helpers.
Thank you. Teachers are just helpers. Thank you, Ma. You have done justice to the topic. May I ask, are there responsibilities that are to be reciprocated by our children after the parents must have done their part?
Thank you. Yes. Parents who are able to perform their responsibilities well upon their children, they are going to laugh last. Whatever they spend on the children, they will get it in maybe in 100-fold. They will get it back. It pays off at the end, because when the children when they are now on their own, they have do job, they'll be able to take care of their parents. So it pays off at the end. So that is why parents should take that responsibility very seriously, because it will pay off at the end.
It's going to pay off at the end, meaning that children whose parents must have spent a whole lot definitely also have responsibility in taking care of their parents eventually. Your last word to our youth out there that are in school.
Okay. My words of advice to our children as in school, that they should be hardworking. Nowadays it's very costly to send your children to good school to get quality education, and it's a pity that our government, they are not serious with education. Sorry to say, they are just paying lip service to education, and education should be the equal right of every child, or else we will be breeding mediocres. So but students, whatever your parents have spent on you, make sure that you use this your time very well. Study your book, come out excellently, then in the future you too will get a good job. You will not be a non-entity in the society. In fact, you will be something in future. You can be president, you can be governor, you can be commissioner, or whatever. So it is better for you to face your study very well and shun all other activities that are not related to your education, or that will not help your life in future.
Thank you, Ma. A good word to our children or youth out there. Your success is with you, is in your hands. If you want to be successful, or the other way around, it's in your hands. What a pity to the educational sector of Nigeria. But you can choose and decide to be the best in the future. My guest, you're welcome, Dr. Mrs. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Until we come your way next time, I remain your humble host, Oluwasesan Isaac. Thank you and God bless you.